Hi everybody, welcome to Sunya IAS. If you're preparing political science as an optional and if you're targeting 2027 or beyond, we have a very structured and an exam-oriented foundation course for political science optional. So I'll first brief you about what we have to offer, what are the common challenges which aspirants face, and how are we aiming to tackle and overcome them. Now, first thing, political science. For some of you may have an interest in the subject, some of you may or may not have a background in the subject. Regardless of that, if you're choosing this optional, one has to make sure that we know the syllabus of the optional, that is the basic requirement. Second thing is, over romanticizing with the subject and reading too much without exam specific notes would always be a challenge, right? So first I will outline to you what are general challenges or the issues people face while covering optional. If you face any of these issues, stick around. I'll also tell you how we are going to tackle that, right? Now, when you're doing this subject, you have paper 1, paper 2, paper 1A, which generally has Western political thought, political theory, and you have paper 1B, which talks about Indian government and politics. Then you have paper 2A, and then you have paper 2B. 2A talks about comparative politics, and 2B will talk about India and the world, right? Now, if you want to score maximum marks, the idea should be you should cover 1A, 1B, 2A, 2B properly as per syllabus. Now, many times what happens that you may end up giving due more weightage to any one section and less weightage to another. So, the first issue generally aspirants face is the issue of mismanagement. So, some topics or some units become weak, right? Let's say you are starting with paper 1A, you are very enthusiastic or thinkers and you are reading them again and again and again, right? Maybe that unit you are able to understand well, but what about other units and other topics? So one of the common issues people, even after going through maybe months or maybe years of optional preparation, certain topics or units are left or neglected or they are weakened. That is one challenge. Fun. Second, many times if you're just going through certain notes or reading some articles and magazines, you are just seeing random thinkers being present and there is no flow, right? So because of this randomization, scatteredness, your mind is not able to observe patterns, okay? And then the problem is you will almost memorize everything. You will try to just ratify things without exactly learning it, without knowing the chronological sequence, the logical sequence, understanding concept, building around it. So then the challenge then is memorizing without understanding. Now, if you have had any idea about the syllabus, and don't worry, all these things in the foundation will be seen in detail, but if you know the syllabus of PSIR is big. You have 1A, 1B, 2A, 2B. If you just keep on memorizing it, it will be a challenge because the questions may vary and you have to address the demand of the question, not only what you know, right? So this is also an issue. Many times happen that let's say you have read about political theory, but if it is a reflective statement based question, you may face challenges in that. Okay? Then often many times what happens that you are reading a theory, you're not linking it to the current affairs, or if you are doing maybe paper 2B but you're not linking it to the theory of paper 2A. So you have done the entire optional without the integrative approach or a comparative approach of understanding. That can also be a challenge, right? And which is why if you combine all these problems, many times even after the student has done the foundation, it still feels incomplete. In certain topics you feel I don't have enough content, I don't know what to write, I am not able to brainstorm and think. To solve all these problems, the PSIR foundation course aims to be a very structured course. When I say structured, every paper, every section in that, every unit and every topic gets due attention, okay? And it is again covered in a sequential logical manner so that you are building, you have made a base, then another layer, another layer, another layer. So it is very structured and very methodical, first thing. Second thing is, it is the beginner friendly. Now many students, sheerly because of the love of the subject, you may have started reading polity or constitution, or you may have an interest in IR, you've taken this, okay? So somebody may have a background, or somebody may have done maybe their BA, or they're doing their masters, and somebody may have an engineering background, or commerce background, any other background. The course will be beginner friendly because this is a foundation course. It should be beginner friendly. So I would not be assuming that you have any prior knowledge of the course or the subject or the topics, which is why almost everything we will be doing from scratch. So even if I have to tell you about Plato, I'll not directly start with theories of Plato. In fact, I'll tell you the importance of thinkers, why even study Plato. What is the relevance of studying Plato, Machiavelli, other thinkers, for example. So this is going to be beginner friendly. Then it has to be exam oriented. Please remember, we are targeting the civil services exam. Okay. And if we do not have exam orientation, we can just simply love and romanticize the subject and the thinkers and their theories. And yet we will be falling short on marks. So using my own experience, okay, here I'll help you to make it as exam oriented. And for us, what is exam orientation? We have to know the syllabus and we have to know the PYQs, right? Now, and you will have a lot of clarity. Now, let me explain this point to you. Many times people who do foundation are okay with paper 1A because paper 1A generally talks about the theory aspect of political theory. In paper 1B, if you see the paper of 2025 of this year, they have asked you current affairs, paper 1B. If you see the paper of 2A, the students who only think that, okay, I'll just do the theory without knowing the current affairs, you will face a challenge. Questions based on Donald Trump. 3 types of questions have been asked if you just see paper 2A. And by the way, again, even if you're a beginner, I've already taken the analysis of 2025 paper 1 as well as paper 2. If you have time, you can watch it, or as and when you're done with the sections, individual sections, then also you can watch it. This is totally up to you. Fine. Even 2024 paper I've done an analysis, you can see that. So my point is, we will make it exam oriented, number one, and second is you will have clarity, because many times what happens, even after doing paper 2A, you've done the realist approach, you've done the liberal approach, for example, other approaches, or you've done, for example, democracy in paper 2A. But when the question says democratic backsliding, or when the question is more example oriented, current affairs oriented, you face a challenge. But here, if you follow the approach that we are doing, you will never be facing these issues. Again, if you want to check the exam orientedness or clarity, there are many demo videos also of political science optional that I've taken. You can also watch that and then maybe make up your mind. But the point is, anyways, if you have to cover the optional, you have to ensure that you are exam oriented and you have clarity. How does this happen? When the course has to be structured, the notes that you have, okay, should help you answer the questions that have come in the exam. That should be the main motive. Now, generally, what is the pedagogy of the course? I will be explaining the concept, the thinkers around it, the debate, and the application. So it would not be that I'm just telling the concept, but you don't know the thinker. In fact, I have a habit of giving a lot of homework that I will ask you certain terms. So then students also get motivated. A child read more about it. You are curious to know more about certain thinkers, maybe their debates around it. That helps. Now, if you have understood what all the course aims to offer, I'll just now summarize what are the offerings in this course. So number one, paper 1, paper 2, entire thing will be covered via videos. So everything unit wise you will be covering it. You don't have to worry. Paper 1, entire concepts. Paper 2, and specifically when we do paper 2, you will see integration of current affairs. And when I say paper 2, I mean both paper 2A as well as paper 2B. And of course, in paper 1A, sorry, 1A also, wherever relevant, for example, when I do fascism, I also integrate the relevant current affairs. And specifically in paper 1B, current affairs, you will see. Okay. And then you try to connect the topic. Then you understand it even better. For example, if governor or constitutional punctuality is in news, we will be covering that in our classes. Similarly, when you see paper 2, again here, for example, very recently, the G20 summit happened and US was not present in the G20 summit. Okay, similarly, COP30 of the UNFCCC, United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change happened and US was not present. Now, these topics are important for GS, but are equally important for your optional political science. And I would not be surprised, and even you should not be surprised if you see these questions finally in the exam. Okay, so the point is, properly in our manner, we will be covering it, right? Videos, and if you followed any of the videos of political science that I've taken, I often use a lot of mind maps which help in consolidation, not just for thinkers, but even other topics, wherein how to introduce it, what is the theory, what keywords to be added, right? How to make tables, comparisons, etc. for your own notes. That will help you a lot, and that is again a part of the course and which you will see, right? Second thing is, you also get the notes of paper 1 and paper 2 as books. right? Of course, while we do the classes also, I make you write down important things that are to be written, that you will have from the classes also. Additionally, you will get book. So you'll have paper 1 and paper 2 notes proper. You'll also have a solved PYQ book. Okay, so PYQ, if you have solved with you, when you're doing the topics or when you're done with the topics, you can go back, you can brainstorm or read through the answer. Again, you will get more clarity. And in addition to that, if you are facing doubts while doing these videos, etc., you can directly reach out to the number that we'll be giving you. So doubt solving will also be there. So in case you're wondering how to reach out, etc., so even doubt solving and guidance is also the part in what we offer here, right? So that is all that I wanted to tell you, just to give you a brief about how we are planning and doing the course. When you start the course, how to make notes, how to follow my lectures, etc. There is a dedicated video that you will find in the portal. You can do that. And then individually paper 1A will be covering, then 1B, then 2A, 2B, while integrating current affairs, and you'll enjoy it. Again, for the people who want to know perhaps more and want to reach out, you can drop a text or call on this number to know more. You can also visit our website or the offline center if you have any other issues or details regarding the course. Okay. So looking forward to see you in the classes. If you have any doubts, let us know. Thank you.